Loan officer here, Maurice Navarro, here on another Facebook Live stream. Here we are, of course, wearing red to remember everyone deployed, remembering all our servicemen who are out there. Just want to say a big shout out to all of you, some of which I'm actually working with right now. So again, thank you to all of you. Here we are with a new topic. We've got characteristics of the best VA lenders. Okay, so in fact, this is actually a great topic for me because I've had several veterans reaching out to us because unfortunately they've in a good way they've been talking to several lenders, but they're starting to realize we're not all the same. Okay, and unfortunately for them, they've been calling and dealing with and talking to lender after lender after lender, and they're starting to figure out what makes one lender better than others. Well, what we're going to do today is offer you a little bit of a guide, some things that you can ask as you're doing your search. We encourage all our veterans to do their research because we know that not only are you going to come back to us, you're going to feel more confident and more trusting into the whole process because you know that we truly are VA mortgage experts. So hopefully this helps you out. If you've got any questions, be sure to post them. While we're streaming, we try to answer any questions live. If not, we will answer them after the video, okay? So first off, you want to have a great process. You want to get your loan, of course. You want it to be as smooth as possible. But you're also going to have to realize that, like I said, not all lenders are cut from the same cloth. So one of the things you want to look for is what's called a LAP-approved lender. What does this mean? Okay, so we here at Low VA Rates, we are approved by the VA to do VA loans. Okay, well you're thinking, well, isn't every lender? No, not necessarily. You can have a little mom and pop shop who can do a VA loan, but they're not a LAP approved lender. That means they would actually have to work with someone like us. So we've actually gone through the process with the VA to be approved by them. That's very important. Why? Well, don't you want someone who's doing a VA loan to actually know what the VA wants? Because, I kid you not, there will be things you will come across with another lender, and they may start the process with you, and I've seen this happen because I've had veterans come to us to try to save their loan because they came across something, they're like, we don't know what to do here. We're reaching out to the VA, we've never seen this before, and whatnot. Hey, that's not something you want to pop up in the middle of your loan process, especially when you're supposed to be closing soon. Okay? So number 2, overlays. Okay? This, again, all this is sort of related, and you're going to see why. Okay? So the VA has guidelines, and that's why I was saying sometimes things pop up when there's a lender who's not familiar with those guidelines or where to look for those. You may come across problems. So the VA has certain guidelines to do a VA loan. Now, the lender may actually add their own guidelines on top of that. That's what we call overlays. What that means is, for example, this is a popular one, and that's actually going to be, actually let's talk about it now. For example, credit score requirement. The VA, per their handbook, says there's no minimum credit score requirement. You're thinking, wait, hold up. That's not what my lender said, and they're doing a VA loan. You're right. Lenders may add that overlay, and they may have a credit score requirement. We here at Low VA Rates, we follow the VA handbook. That's our underwriting manual. If it says this, we stick with that. We don't want to complicate it. The VA has wide latitude to help veterans because, let's face it, you come from all walks of life. You come back from your service, may have a few things that have changed in your life, and they want to be accommodating. So we as well, we don't want to make it more complicated. So if the VA has no minimum credit score requirement, neither do we. In fact, just as a case in point, I just got a wonderful lady, a veteran, pre-approved. We took it to the underwriter with a 499 credit score. How amazing is that? Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to break that record, but there is no minimum credit score requirement. We look at the big picture. So we don't add overlays. That's just one example. There may be debt to income ratio requirements. They may have a credit other things about credit history or residual income, things like that. But you want to ask the lender, what overlays do you have? I literally helped another individual who got turned down by another lender because his credit score wasn't at 680. I think we all would love to see 680 in our credit reports, right? But that's the thing. You want to find out what the lender expects from you. Okay? Number 3. Just looking at my notes here. So approved to underwrite. Because we are LAP approved, we can actually have in-house underwriters that we can go to. We don't have to send it to someone else to underwrite your loan. We can know whether or not, right here quickly, whether or not this loan works or it doesn't, or what we can do to get you there. So that just makes the process much quicker, which takes us to the next one. Close loans fast. You want to find out from them how soon they can close your loan. The fastest I've ever closed a loan was 10 days. I think it was 10 calendar days, in fact. Now, not all the loans are the same. We have streamlines, we have full file, the cash out refinances, we have purchases. But you do want to find out, get an estimated time of what you can expect the loan to take. How long should this process take? How long till it gets into the underwriter's hands and so forth. Keep in mind there are things that sometimes are out of a lender's control. Title work, the appraisal, pest inspection, those are things we may have very little control over. But you want to make sure that the process, at least within the lenders, within the company, is as smooth as can be. But it's a little hard to tell up front until you jump in the boat, and you get into it with them. But you can at least ask them, get an idea of an expectation, see how you feel about their response. And number 5, probably what matters to most people, if not all, what are their rates? You want to get the lowest rate possible. We have a fellow loan officer here who's got a little saying when he talks to the veterans. You're not going to invite us to dinner or for Thanksgiving. You're not going to invite the other lender to Thanksgiving unless they're friends or family, right? But for the most part, look, we want to have a great relationship, but really in the end, it's about your house payment. It's about what you can afford. And what is going to determine that is the interest rate. So you want the lowest rate possible. And as our name insinuates, low VA rates, we guarantee to have the lowest rates out there. Now, we have low rates. We're very competitive. Every now and then you may come across a mom and pop shop who is offering a better interest rate. First off, they may not give you the best service, or it's not going to be a quick process. They may not be LAP approved. So those are things you got to think about. But you know what? Give us a chance to be more competitive. Let's beat them. We still have our $250 best rate guarantee. If we cannot beat the other lender's interest rate, their locked interest rate, we will send you a check for $250 when you close with them. We don't want to do that, so we want to give you the best rate. And yes, we actually have in fact sent a few of those checks every now and then. And I'll say this, over the last 3 years, I've probably just sent over just a handful of those checks. More often than not, we beat those interest rates. So give us a chance to beat them. Anyway, are there any questions?
Philip Easler, glad you guys know what you're doing with VA loans. Too many lenders and real estate agents that are clueless. We had been approved for conventional with just over 600 credit score, but not VA because of quote-unquote VA requirements.
Oh. So, do you have an idea what those requirements are? Do we have? So that's the thing. And I've seen a lot of veterans who go to a lender promising a VA loan only to have it switched over to something else, FHA or conventional. But what does that do? That starts to add a few things onto your plate. Now you need a down payment. Now you may be paying mortgage insurance. And those are things that a VA loan doesn't have. Oftentimes, because a lender can do conventional, USDA, FHA, VA, they will have a blanket rule, meaning, hey, so in order to get any of these loans, we'll need this kind of credit score and this, just to make it easier for them. But this isn't about making it easier for them, it's about making it easier for you. So I'm not sure what those requirements were, but from my experience, VA requirements are much more lenient and more easy to work with than all the other ones. Probably the trickiest part is maybe the VA appraisal, But that's about it. I mean, it's a fairly easy process. So I'm sorry that that happened. So.
They wanted a 640 credit score minimum.
Yeah, 640. So I don't know if you heard that, but the other lender was requiring a 640 minimum credit score requirement. And so, unfortunately, that's not a VA requirement. That is their requirement. Like I said, the VA has no minimum credit score requirement. The lowest score I've actually been able to close a loan for, and it was a purchase, was a 530 credit. And we, like I said, right, we just pre-approved someone at a 499, and I've got somebody that I trained who's getting theirs approved for 490. So, don't get me wrong, the better the credit score, the better the interest rate you will get. That does play a factor there, but it's not a reason to deny you from getting a loan. Keep in mind the VA does provide a little fallback where once you make 6 payments into it, you can get do a VA streamline and lower your interest rate. Several individuals that I helped last year who got turned down by 5 or 6 different lenders, got them into their home, maybe didn't get the best rate out there, but they got a loan, which was more important to them. And guess what? Right now, they've made 6 payments, and I'm getting them down to a much lower interest rate. In fact, I helped somebody get their rate 2 percentage points less than where they were at last year. Granted, rates were a little high last year.
Philip also said we're now working with Taylor here at low VA rates and in the final steps of a purchase.
Great. So apparently Philip went through that experience, found out not all lenders are the same, found us, and we're at the final stages to help him out. So that's a perfect example. Thank you, Philip. Thank you for reaching out to us, doing your research. Guys, it's not too late. If you started a process with another lender, we can save the day. Believe me, I love doing that. Any other questions? Okay. Well, if you do have any more questions or comments, be sure to post them. We will respond to them as soon as we can. But it's great to be with you. Have a wonderful, safe weekend. I know for a lot of you it's spring break, so let's be a little safe. Let's be smart. But we'll see you next Friday, guys.